Hey everyone, Matt here with CheckView. One issue you may come across from time to time is if you're adding new sites with test flows where the pop-ups are not automatically closed by CheckView. CheckView tries to do its best to close all modals, pop-ups, cookie banners that it finds, but of course we can't handle every single situation in configuration. So with this in mind, I wanted to make a video to show you how you can simply add an extra step in your test flow in order to close your modal or pop-up so that your test flow on your form can continue. All right, so I have a site up here. I'm gonna go and go to the sample page where this form lives. It's just a gravity form. And you'll see right away there's a MailChimp pop-up that I have triggering. This is a pretty common situation that people have. We actually are adding the automatic closing of MailChimp as well as Klaviyo and a few others, but typically the third-party CRM pop-ups and modals tend to be the ones that really trip up CheckView. Of course, there may be some other plugins, etc., that have this issue. So you can see though that it is here, and I can see that gravity form back there. It's just kind of hidden away. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a test and see how it does. I expect it's going to fail because again, we don't have that set up to auto close MailChimp modals right now. So I'm going to go ahead and add the test flow because I've already connected the website. I'm going to go through the same process that I normally would of auto generating a test flow. And now I'm going to pause the video real quick while it auto generates. All right, as we expected, it did fail in initializing. So if I click that, I can go ahead and view the initialization errors to confirm this is what the issue is. I always recommend if you have any initialization errors, always watch the video on this link and the steps. That's really going to tell you what's going on before you go and try to edit steps. So I'm going to go ahead and say view initialization errors. It's going to take me to a page where essentially right now it's showing the steps. It failed on step 5, which typically with pop-ups and modals, it's not entirely relevant where it failed. It's probably not that the fields, are not being found, etc. It's just that's when the pop-up actually gets in the way. So we can watch the video. It's only going to give us a little bit of evidence of that, but we can see the pop-up is in fact there, and it just kind of gets stuck. So with that in mind, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and add a step in order to close the modal earlier in the process, and that way it will run through all of the steps that it's written. And in this case, I want to just look over it all. It looks like it actually made it through the whole form, which is great, so we don't have to add any other steps besides closing the modal. So I'm going to click back, and I'm going to hit Edit Steps. So now this is the step editor. It's going to show us all the steps it's already written. And before it goes through all of these other steps, after it goes to the page, we want to go ahead and look for the modal to close. So I'm going to go ahead and say add new step. This modal has an X, so we're going to click to close it. And I can see the modal, so I know I need us to click this X here. So I'm going to pull up Chrome Inspector Tools, and I'm going to go ahead and find to select that X. And in this case, there's a button there. It doesn't have an ID. IDs are always the best thing to use, but if it's not available, we can use this class. It's pretty specific because it has MC for MailChimp and closed model, so it's likely not to affect any other pop-ups or forms on the site. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that class. I'm going to go back to the step editor, and I'm just going to add that class, making sure to add the period at the beginning. So we've got that set up, and now it's going to run through the rest of the steps we have. So I can go ahead and hit save. It's not going to run in our preview test. We just need to run a real test. This will take from our test for the month, but we need to do this to make sure it works. So I'm going to hit run test and go ahead and hit pause. All right, so it went ahead and passed this time, which is great. I can see that there's the click on modal step that we added, plus all the steps that it pre-wrote for us. I always like to check the video and make sure that it does work as expected and as outlined in the steps. So I'm just going to scrub through this video. You can see the pop-up is not there because it closed it already. I can see it's filling in all the fields, and then I can see it actually finishes it. So we're good to go on this, and if I look back, I can see it's now set for Monday, and we're good to go. Hopefully today's video showed you how easy it is to remove custom pop-ups, modals, or banners with just one step. Of course, if you get stuck or have any questions, reach out to our support team. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.